The last time I made a speech was at a wedding between my sister and my best man over 5 years ago, so I do apologise if I'm a little bit rusty. There are a few similarities between this wedding and that one, the red and white colour theme, for example, although in our case this has nothing to do with Stoke City. Making that speech was slightly easier than making this one for two reasons. Firstly, the stakes are a lot lower with a best man speech. You can only break up someone else's marriage. Secondly, I had Sophie to help me on that speech. Unfortunately, today I only had Google's assistant. Anyway, without further ado, I must move on to the speech itself. My wife and I would like to say thank you to you all for being... I'd like to say thank you all for being here today. You are here because you are the people for whom we care about the most and who we most wanted to share today with. We'd also like to say a huge thank you to those of you who have helped out with making today happen. Thank you to everyone who was involved in making our stag do and hen do's great as well. In particular, we'd like to thank Natalie Renard for sorting out the table decorations, Anne-Marie, who's going to be running some dances later on, and Liz Hodgson, who has created this amazing cake. You've also heard from a range of talented musicians and singers throughout the day, to whom we'd like to thank, especially Becky Hill, who helped with our entrance music, and Katie Jackson, who organised the singing at the back and the singing in the other room. We'd like to say thank you to the wedding party, to the ushers for helping getting everything organised today, to the flower girls and the bridesmaids for helping Sophie get ready this morning and making sure she got here. I'd also like to say thank you to my best man and to my sister for organising my stag do, and most importantly, remembering the rings. We'd also like to say thank you to our parents, without whom today would not have been possible. Whilst both sides contributed many things, I'd like to pick a few examples. My mother Dawn put together the amazing favours that are on all your tables. My father Clive built the postbox downstairs and the photo booth, which you'll get to enjoy later on. Sophie's father Vincent provided the wine and the champagne. And Sophie's mother Claire helped out with all the decorations and the flowers. Though I can't help but notice there is something you've forgotten today, Claire. A few years ago we had dinner with you in the Red Rose in Surbiton, where we agreed on a suitable dowry for me taking your daughter's hand in marriage. So please do let me know when you'll be able to get me my camels. But for me, the person who I need to thank most is my new wife, Sophie. You have done an amazing job putting all of this together, and whilst we worked on it as a team, it wouldn't have been possible without your motivation, creativity and organisation. And of course it goes without saying, you look absolutely stunning. For those that haven't been through the process, I can tell you planning a wedding requires a lot of work, especially for those of us who can't afford to have the ceremony at Windsor Castle. In fact, choosing the location was one of the trickiest parts. It got to the point where on one occasion, me and Sophie were so disappointed with the venues we'd seen, we decided to spend the budget on a lifetime supply of donuts instead of a wedding. Fortunately for our health, we did eventually find Bedford School, and I hope you can all agree that it's been the perfect venue today. However, it's not just today that I need to thank you for. It's for making the past 6 years the happiest years of my life. The best part of my day is getting to see you, and I'm looking forward to it whenever I'm not with you. I still remember the first time I saw you. It was in a lecture theatre at our university. Our campus was 95% male, and during my first year I had realised this probably wasn't going to be the place that I would meet someone. However, in a lecture in the start of second year, I heard a new girl start to answer a question. I remember turning to look at you and wondering who this new arrival was. I could tell you were smart, confident and beautiful, But little did I know I was looking at the person who would change my life forever. Other people seemed to be able to see that we were a good match. Following the meeting where we first met, the other people who attended were already saying that they thought we would get married one day. I remember thinking at the time that that could never happen, not because I wouldn't want it to, but because there was no way someone as amazing as you would be interested in me. Getting to know you was like catching up with a best friend rather than meeting a stranger. Since the beginning, we've always been in sync and approached everything as a united team. People often refer to their wives as their other halves, and with you I think this is really accurate. I'm only truly complete when I'm with you. We have always been strongest together as a team. This is how we have approached everything we do together, whether it is setting up a TV station, buying a flat, or travelling the world. Sometimes life throws us some difficult challenges, but I know that we will always be able to work through them as we are together. Of course, there are the odd occasions where we can't be a team. For example, the proposal had to be a solo effort, though I think it would have benefited greatly from your input. I hope we can agree that the setting and the preceding day was a good choice on my part. We were visiting Japan, and I took you to a spa located at the foot of Mount Fuji. We had a massage and then some time in a private hot spring. We then went back to Tokyo, and things went slightly off course as I hadn't planned where we were going to eat and ended up walking around a shopping centre a few times before finally settling on a buffet restaurant. We did get a good view from the balcony of that restaurant though. After the meal, I quickly rushed to the toilet to give me a final chance to go over what I was going to say. We walked down to a secluded spot on the beach overlooking Tokyo Bay and the Rainbow Bridge, and I got ready to ask the question. You were slightly oblivious to what I was trying to do and were chatting away about something else. Eventually, I just had to interrupt you so I could actually pop the question. I was so happy and relieved when you said yes. Of course, a little while later, you did give me some feedback. The speech was too factual. It was too dark to see me properly. And you thought I looked so nervous you weren't taking in the moment as you were eager to say yes so I could relax. You did give me a few more chances to try the speech again in the following days in the safety of our hotel room, and on only the 5th or 6th attempt I managed to do something half decent. Here we are 2 years on, and I'm hoping I've done slightly better with this speech than that one. At the very least, I have tried my best to include as few facts as possible. Having spent nearly every day together since we first started dating, it's sometimes easy to forget just how lucky I am. For me, marriage doesn't feel like a big change. It feels like a chance to take a moment and confirm, in front of our friends and family, that you are the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. You have supported me and inspired me throughout the years we have spent together. I wouldn't be where I am today without you. Being able to call you a friend is an honour, but being able to call you my wife is simply the greatest honour that there is. So everyone, please join me, not me, in raising your glasses and toasting to my wife. It's okay. I'll take that. Please join me in raising your glasses and toasting to my wife, my best friend and my soulmate, to Sophie.